What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, coming to you this time late at night because of my problems. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, otherwise known as JERMgaming.
That was just generic enough to be concerning.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm joined by Dave, the not-so-evil Viking 13.
What's up, guys? And my table full of computer parts.
James the Gray.
What's up?
Joel, the wild card.
What's up, brah?
All right. And what did we settle on for Debbie?
The token.
Oh yeah. No. She was just the token girl last. That was last week. Calm the shrillness. That was just last week as a joke. Based on the last time I said it. No, we don't have one for Debbie yet. We'll come.
You could just call me Debbie.
Debbie the goat.
With the amount of Minecraft recently, it could be Master Craftsman Debbie, Master Craftswoman Debbie.
She's a master builder.
I don't think craftswoman is a thing. I think you're just a craftsman. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be. Really
How about we ask our audience what I should be called?
Ooh, yeah. Ask the internet. What should the girl be called?
Never mind, just kidding.
Twitch chat. What should we call Debbie? Oh gosh.
Hey guys.
Sandwich artist, is that an option?
No. I don't eat sandwiches.
You don't have to eat them.
I'm gluten-free.
You don't have to eat them.
That wasn't the point, Debbie.
Guys are jerks.
No, we're
Why
not.
do I do this every week? Or every other week? Why do I do this at all?
Why do you do this every other year?
I'll just got it. Drunky Fresh.
Yes, that's right.
Drunky
Perfect.
Fresh. All right. Debbie, the joke
Fresh.
about the sandwich was you said you wanted the internet to pick what your nickname should be, which I just made the joke. Of course, someone's going to say, like, it'll be something about you should be making sandwiches, because you're a woman and such is your station in life. But then you immediately followed up with, well, I don't eat sandwiches. And that's why they said, you don't have to. So somehow we end up being the sexists and the internet gets a free pass and they gave you a cool nickname.
But if you're watching this on the internet, we are the internet too.
Ooh, deep.
And we've already derailed. Thank you, James. That was early tonight. Once again, I'm sorry we went up late this evening. I had some freelance obligations this week. I have not been home a whole lot, and we didn't want to cancel the podcast. And we were going to move it till tomorrow night, but we can't now because Dave and his wife and Debbie and her husband are coming to visit me. So as much as I would love to do the podcast with just me and Joel and James and Dave screaming from a Skype call in his car, we figured it was probably better just to move it back a couple hours and do it tonight.
Let's not forget either that I'd be on 3G too.
Which means you would never call us.
He would stop at all the Starbucks along the way and get their Wi-Fi.
I could use Skype credit on my Skype account and I could call your phone, but then you'd still be using your Ting minutes, which means you would
data actually.
Minutes? No, I'd be using your minutes. I would be calling you your phone using Skype. Yeah, like we did with Joel the other night.
That makes sense.
We used like 200 of his minutes, although he probably has unlimited minutes.
But hey, I could use those minutes
for his cell phone
someday. You never know.
Speaking of getting derailed,
it's different when I do it. I'm the host.
yes, you're officially a train wreck. We do it; it's just funny. But when you do it, everything's off course.
Everything stops.
He's
stares
on.
and points.
Joel, I can't promise we're going to get to all of your peasant news.
Yeah, we don't. I wasn't. I didn't know if it was going to be.
There's more peasantry than regular news on the podcast. Tonight we are trying to keep the podcast to a pretty decent time.
I thought most of it was more interesting than the other stuff that was in there. But
you thought all the peasant news was more interesting than the PC news?
Yeah, it actually was.
That's true. Okay, all right. We'll talk about it. But no, we're going to get right to our main topic this week because this is the main topic we want to do last week. But before we get to our main topic, we'll start the podcast as we always do with me forgetting what comes next. But then we'll segue into Patreon thank yous.
Smooth.
We have a new Patreon backer this week, and we're just going to skip all the hoopla. Say thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. And now Joel is going to mangle your name.
Well, I just wanted to thank you there, Sean Oscars. I really appreciate that. I can't do Sean Connery at all. Thank you, Oscars, very much. That was my best.
Oscar, my boy. It sounds like you're a circus guy. Come here, Oscar, my boy. We got a little proposition for you.
Thank you, Oscars, for donating and supporting us. It's awesome. We appreciate it very much.
Jeremiah's well-lit face is thanks to you guys' support.
And Dave is coming to pick up the rest of the lights tomorrow. Now, our main topic this evening is actually a suggestion from one of our listeners, so thank you very much. Not that we normally take listener suggestions on topics, but this was a really good one, and we kind of wanted to talk about it. There's a recent article on Polygon.
Wait, Mr. Segway, are we skipping something here? Can we lead with my stuff for once, Jeremiah?
Did you want to lead with your stuff?
I'd like to take some precedence in the podcast just for once.
What, you want to lead with the Potato Masher stuff?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You had all the Potato Masher glory for months now. I think...
That's true. Okay. You want to lead off right now? All right.
I'm ready.
You're just so excited to lord this over everybody, aren't you? Okay.
For those of you guys watching the live feed, my work table behind me is covered in parts, and Joel's already given me the judgment eye.
Okay, so here's what's going on, Joel, because you aren't aware why we have this going on. Dave came to me with an idea a month ago, couple weeks ago.
As soon as the tax money came in.
As soon as the giant tax check showed up, because Dave can't math. In the middle of his crazy buying spree, Dave contacted me, and he had an idea for how we could improve the Potato Masher, something we could do differently to the Potato Masher, but it sounded... I don't want to say implausible. Like, I trust Dave. He sounded like he had a good idea, but I was a little skeptical. So I told him to keep it under wraps and see if he could actually pull it off. So
because I knew that if I told Joel that I was buying more parts instead of putting money aside for a PS4, he might cut me like when my back was turned at work. Like, he might just come up behind me and like shiv me in like the lower back or something.
So just to be clear,
it would be the neck.
There's an experiment. We're doing an experiment here, not using Patreon money. This is just an experiment to see if we could do something.
This is Uncle Sam's money.
Dave is using his own money.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not that crazy. Like, it's not Dave didn't go out and just build another like $1,500 computer to play with.
Yeah, it's not like $1,000, but it's not. I mean, it's not super cheap either. Let's be honest.
It's useful. Don't worry, it's useful. You'll see. It's not that crazy of an idea. So Dave has an idea of how he can change something. The Potato Masher. Dave, do you have that YouTube link for everybody?
I do. If you guys want to go ahead and just
everybody, my people. Like in the podcast,
my tribe.
People watching the live feed, I'm just going to play a video, and then everyone who's in the podcast needs to have that YouTube link ready. So just
I'm
let
going
me
to
know
post
when
it
it's
in
ready.
Skype chat, guys.
Yeah, and then everyone let me know when you got it queued up, and we will watch it. Okay.
All right. And make sure you're set to like at least 720p. This isn't Peasantville over here. You gotta have some minor quality at least.
I'm ready.
All right, everyone ready?
Yep.
Ready?
All right, 5.
Debbie, are you ready?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In December 2014, Casual Shenanigans Gaming brought you guys the Potato Masher, a $350 computer that could not only compete with the PlayStation 4, but beat it handily in almost every single scenario. It was a really fun technical experiment, but that wasn't enough for us. Our most common complaint about the Potato Masher was, these parts weren't 100% new, I can't buy this parts list right now. I set out this month to solve that with the Potato Masher 2. That's right, it's back and it's better than ever. The complete Potato Masher 2 parts list comes to a sum total of $410. That is new. And it equals the new retail sale price of a PlayStation 4. Whereas the original Potato Masher set out to beat the PlayStation 4, I set out to match it and provide the exact same experience if possible. Through tons of hard work and research, I think I've managed to pull it off. You guys aren't gonna believe this. By utilizing new parts and some nifty tricks, the Potato Masher 2 not only matches the PlayStation 4 experience, it matches the PlayStation 4's games. That's right, the Potato Masher 2 can play every Sony exclusive game released so far and to be released in the future. How is this possible? Let's look under the hood. The guts of the Potato Masher and what make it tick include an aging but still powerful Intel i7 processor, a more than capable NVIDIA GTX 970 graphics card, and a number of other traditional PC features. You guys know about those. But this is where the magic happens. When you crack the case open, the secret sauce to the Potato Masher 2 is a next-gen APU designed by AMD. This specialized, never-before-seen APU is capable of simulating all of the PlayStation games and fits neatly inside my old Cooler Master case. Thanks to this technology, Cooler Master 2 is capable of not only an incredible cinematic 30 FPS at up to 900p, it allows emotional connections with games like never before seen on the PC platform. The Potato Masher 2 has it all. Looks, ease of portability, convenience, and power. Thank you guys for supporting the Potato Masher project and for all of your enthusiasm. And remember, stay casual.
So, you got one.
I have a PS4.
Yes!
And 2 days ago, I pre-ordered Bloodborne.
Yes! My dreams have come true.
Joel, that scowl on your face.
Joel, you're the only one that didn't know. We've all been like patiently waiting, like I would say
Like,
patient.
you could call your mom now and be like, "Did you know Dave was getting a PS4?" Your mom was like, "Of course I did."
You guys got me. Okay.
We've been waiting for a while.
How long have you had one?
Since
week.
Tuesday, actually.
But he's been planning on this like a month.
Yeah, I've been playing it for a month, yeah.
That was delicious. Oh, dude, you got me. Okay. First thing,
You
okay?
look so pissed. You were like, he was like PS4 games. You were just like,
First start of the video, I was like, okay, did Dave seriously buy like a $405 computer that we were kind of thinking about, Jeremiah, about like if we did a PlayStation or PS4 toys? You guys really completely destroyed me on this. So I was like, okay, all right, okay, that's kind of cool. So Dave built one that people could maybe find links, be easier to buy, so people would like shut up or something like that.
Basically.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait, okay, then he's gonna try to play PS4 games. I'm like, illegally or something? Like, you gonna like download it and like
emulation?
I was like, does that exist? I was like, oh, come on, guys. I was gonna get pissed about that. And then the cover came off, and my eyes started to tear up.
And my original plan, Joel, was actually like I have this ridiculous Cosmos case behind me. The PS4 like fits in there like with everything with it. I was gonna have it like in there in the background, but I wasn't allowed to take it back from the TV. My wife is like 8 hours into Lego Hobbit now, and I'm not allowed to sell it ever, apparently.
I'm so happy.
And Joel, I'll make you a little bit happier. Dave and John are coming here this weekend. They're bringing their PS4s, and we're going to set up a LAN party and play The Last of Us on Saturday.
I have The Last of Us too.
Yeah, if you
Are
want
you serious?
Yep,
Oh,
if you want to
man.
play, if you want to play LAN,
All my
with
dreams
us.
have come true.
Joel, and a year of PS Plus.
Dude, how the crap did you get that?
It was a good deal. We've been,
What- so
James
what-
and
so
I have
what
been
was the
helping
deal?
Dave shop for like a month now.
Yeah, check this out. I got
Thank you, James. Thank you.
I've been egging you on for weeks, dude.
I got a new PS4, a year of PS Plus, digital copy of The Last of Us, and $10 PSN store credit, all for $4.10 after tax. All
Start
new.
collecting all those PS
And
Plus
then,
games.
then you
man.
got the 2 Lego games too.
Oh yeah, and
Dang.
then thanks to James,
Did you,
two Lego games.
did
for
you download
$17.
the PSN app? Because you should. I use that all the time at work to download the free games as soon as they become available. Yeah,
I do have
I'm
this
sure
month
it's on
though.
Android.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, you blew my mind. I did not think you were gonna get one. I've been pushing my will upon you to buy one for so. And wait a second, James, you were bullshitting me then because people were on the chat because I was like, James,
Dude, I've been picking on you for weeks, man.
Weeks.
hate
We've
you.
all been doing it, Joel.
I was like, James is like, no, I'm like way more for PC now, and I was like, come on, man, you're not even gonna like help me with the PS4 stuff. I'm like, just pretend a little bit. I need to get one.
What's great is, Joel, I'd be talking to you, and I'd drop a line like, Joel, I don't know about the PS4 this year. Like, I really want a GTX 980 for Witcher 3. And then a few minutes later, James would send me a copy and paste over Skype. He's like, look, Joel's freaking out. He's begging me to help. James, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you enjoyed this?
Oh, this has been a 11.
Man,
So
I
Joel-
was like, really? Because like you did a really nice video. I was not expecting that. This right here has been my Christmas gift for the next whole year. Seriously. Is when people put in this much time to prank me, I'm like, oh, that was good. That was really good.
James and I were talking about this a millisecond before you joined Teamspeak, Joel, and we were like, oh crap. Like it was
Well, yeah,
like
'cause
radio silence.
today at lunch, Joel, I was rendering the video, and it was almost to the point where like you see the PS4, and you like walked up behind me, but I saw you right in time in my peripheral vision, and like flipped my screen real quick.
Dang, you guys have been stringing me along for a while.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely true.
Every time we've said, "Oh, Dave doesn't get to play Bloodborne," every time we've said that, we knew.
Oh,
We all
For
knew.
over a month now. Yeah.
that was really good. I'm so happy. Like my blood brothers are gonna join me. I'm so excited.
Your Bloodborne brothers.
Is that what we're calling us?
That's what I'm calling you guys secretly. I've got my controllers ready.
I don't know, Joel, if you could hear because you were laughing so hard, but did you hear like me talking about the performance of it at the end? I was like,
No, I missed it. I was in pure bliss. I'll have to watch
that
it
was-
I had
again.
to watch it again. At the end, I was like thanks to the pure APU processing power, it can
took
give
me
you
a
a
second to
cinematic 30
realize.
FPS. I was like this will give you more emotional connection than PCs have ever offered in their history.
I wasn't expecting because like I saw the PS4 there and I was like, I bet Jeremiah, because I was like, I didn't know if he like let it borrow. I was like, are you just making fun of like the PS4s in the PC? I was like, and then it clicked. I was like, oh my god.
That's the reaction I was waiting for.
All right.
Oh, wait, I have one more question for Joel though. So
Yes.
Cities Skylines came out Tuesday, right?
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
This is potato related though.
Okay.
And so that came out at 2 p.m. Tuesday. My PS4 got here and was waiting for me after work on Tuesday. Now I want you to guess, Joel, how many hours did I play Cities before I even opened the box for the PS4?
As many as it took. As many hours as it took.
The answer is 4.
Well, I mean, and then once you open the box, you had to wait 24 hours while it downloaded system updates, you know.
It was awful. And one final question for you, Joel. How many hours do you think I've played on the PS4 since Tuesday?
I'd say 0.
0. Yeah, I'm planning on it, like next week probably, but like this week's just been so busy. It's just been, like I hooked it up and I was like, that's nice. And then
Dude, let me know.
Wife's been hooked on it.
Dude,
play
check
some Last of
us
Us.
in Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, Dark Souls 2.
You guys just missed it. Dave just got a PS4. We're all gonna play Bloodborne, and we miss you. So, hey guys, it's Church and Taboo in Twitch chat. Everyone say hi to them from the Dark Souls 2. And we're excited to have you guys back. When are we having them back, Joel?
Possibly April 2nd, I believe.
April 2nd. So we had to move it back 1 week, right?
Those jerks are still waiting to let me know exactly when, but I hope it's going to be April 2nd. So
Okay, then we won't hold them to a date.
Excited
We won't hold them to an exact date, but we're definitely going to have them back on as soon as we can after Bloodborne comes out, so we can talk about it with them. And guys, I promise, I am desperately trying to beat Dark Souls 2. It's just Taboo. Well, screw you. I'm really trying to beat Dark Souls 2 by the time Bloodborne comes out. I'm really, really trying.
Hey, he's
so
doing pretty
hard.
good because he started from scratch again. So because he lost his save file, he was very far. So now we're back in the shaded woods, and yeah, we're doing the Lord's work right now.
Something like that. All right, now moving on to our main topic. This was suggested by one of you guys, our subscribers, so thank you very much, Danny. And this is interesting. So Microsoft technical evangelist Amanda Lange spoke at GDC, and she showed based on research they've gathered, in narrative games where good and evil are clearly defined as story paths, so it's not a everything is gray, what will you do? It's a this is the good choice, this is the bad choice, or these are the good choices, these are the bad choices. Only 5% of players opt for evil on a first playthrough. The number jumped to about 50% on a second run, so 95% of people go good their first time playing through a game, and then only 50% ever go evil when they play through the game again. So they call it, they refer to it as an idea of identity tourism, where you can experiment with morality and identity in games, of course, without it really affecting your real life, unless you're one of those really weird people who play so much Grand Theft Auto, you start looking at cops going, they're going to go flying over a hill in their magic space car and shoot me to death because I ran this red light. So we just want to talk about that. What do you guys think? What do you think? Now, Ben in chat says he always goes evil. But then he says, I guess it just depends on the game. So we're going to go around in a circle here real quick before we really dig into it. What do you guys do? Do you feel like you normally go good? or do you go evil, or somewhere in between, or what do you do when you first play through a narrative game?
I want to
Dave?
hear Debbie's thoughts first, actually, because
Okay.
I know she's got some Skyrim talk for us. Am I ambushing here, Debbie? Or
Nope.
are you ready to talk about Skyrim?
I've been ready for over a week.
Whoa, all right, go for it.
No
She didn't want to
idea.
be on the podcast last week. She just wanted to talk about this.
She's
Yeah.
got the wine glasses to prove it.
I have to say, whenever I go through one of these, like good or evil situations, I usually choose evil. But I hit a save file just in case it's not the choice I want to make.
I want to be evil, just not like committed evil.
Yeah, I'm like, do I want to be evil? Let's find out. And then
With rollbacks.
Yeah. There's always the backup.
You take backsies on evil.
Yeah. But sometimes I'll just do 2 games at once and just do one character evil, one character good.
That's cool.
Wow.
And sometimes I'll do, I'll be a good character, but then I will be like, I've been good all this time. What happens if I be bad? There's this one time. And then save it, and of course, be bad and see what happens. Because there is like a lot of content that's not revealed when you're good. And
That's true.
It's usually really powerful and fun and explosive, so I will choose
The power
that.
usually
Isn't it
goes
like the
right to
vampire
your
quest
head.
line? The vampire quest line?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
love that
I
quest
went
line.
bad in that one.
Oh, yeah. Totally bad
So-
on that one.
Debbie, when you're like considering the good versus evil, do you like consider any kind of deeper long-term like meaning for your character's choices, or you just kind of like roll with it whenever you feel like seeing what's different on the other side of the fence?
I'm not sure I'm that quite immersive in games.
Okay,
Like,
I was just curious.
I don't like put my own identity into it. I'm just like, oh, this is a cool game. Let's see what the developers chose for me or what they did with the situation.
So you're like content hunting, like when
Yeah.
you take the choose your own adventure books and like flip to the end to see the other option real quick.
Yep.
I never
It's like,
did that.
You don't want to be evil. You just want to see if it's fun.
See, dude, I don't write novels for my characters like some people do.
Some
That
people.
wasn't what I was
Some
asking.
people.
My backstory has a backstory.
My backstory is a family tree. Cool.
Dave, what about you? What do you do when you first play through a game?
Seeing Debbie called me out, I will say that a lot of times I do tend to have a little bit deeper backstory. I just like having like in the back of my mind like just some motivation beyond what the game gives you sometimes. But yeah, usually almost I'd say like 90% of the time it's good for the first playthrough. Always good, basically.
For any particular reason, or you just want to do that?
So when it comes to games, like obviously kind of like reading a book, it lets you, see things and experience things that you wouldn't normally see and experience in your real life. But on the other hand, I always seem to find myself, at least initially, making very similar choices to what I would make if I were in that situation. Like I have a hard time not immersing myself personally in the game and like looking at the choices like I would if they were in real life. I mean, I obviously know it's a game, but it's just a lot more natural for me as I'm hitting all these branching choices just to bounce off the ones that come like naturally to me right off the bat. Just like, oh, this is what I would think about this. Let's roll with it. And I thought it was really interesting reading over this article. Like I fit into this description so perfectly. It's like 90% good playthrough on the first playthrough. Second playthrough, it's always evil for me. Like I just go like a complete polar opposite. Like I'm like kicking puppies and burning down orphanages and everything else.
Even where the Thotto hasn't crossed those
What
lines
game
yet.
were you playing?
Dude, Fallout's got some great
In
mods.
City Skylines, he just removes the fire departments and lets the orphanages burn if it comes out that they happen to burn, through events outside his control. James, what about you?
I always play good. I was thinking about it. I think there's 3 types of players that play like role-playing games. I think there's the player that wants to role-play an unsaid character, like not an extension of themselves, but they want to be immersed in another player's life. So they may be more inclined to go evil or good, whatever, I think their story's going to go. But, for me personally, I fit into the category of it is somewhat of an extension of me, but things that I can't do in real life, like I'm not going to, walk around in, post-apocalyptic world, hopefully.
Just give Obama some more time.
little hope, but not complete hope that it's not going to happen. But to play my personality out in those characters. And then I think the third group of people would be people that see those kind of games as games where they can just do things without consequences to kind of like let their hair down. And just, I have to be nice in real life, so I'm going to be a jerk in a game just because I can.
That's me. Yep.
But yeah, I always play good because my playing of those games is not, I don't care about role playing. I don't care about, being something I'm not. I want to be able to just experience stuff as I would be able to experience it if I were actually there.
Right.
Yeah, James, you kind of mentioned like the stress relief thing. That reminded me, the one exception I think for a game series for me was Grand Theft Auto. Like I'm never good in those games.
No one is. You can't be.
You can't be good in GTA.
GTA 5 is the best stress reliever. Well, GTA 4 for me. I guess I don't have 5 yet. Soon. But, I remember I kept 4 installed for years.
You could have it now.
If I ever had like a bad day and was just like super bored and just didn't want to play anything, I just drive around and create chaos in GTA, and it was just super relaxing. I don't know what it is.
Wait, can you be good in GTA at all?
Well, you can. Well, that's
You
the thing
can
about
be
GTA.
less
You
of a
could just.
dick.
Well, you could
that's
go.
true.
You could go play tennis. You could enter races. I mean, GTA has hours and hours. It has more side content that's completely non-violent than most games have content. Period. The problem is most people will get in a bunch of wrecks, run over pedestrians, get in a shootout with the cops, and kill a bunch of people on their way to go play tennis just because that's just how the game is.
I once followed traffic laws for about 15 minutes just for fun.
Oh my gosh. you're such a
It wasn't
square.
that much fun.
What?
It was an interesting experiment.
No.
Man, you should have done a Let's Play series about that.
You can do it though. You can actually pull it off.
Great.
I think the difference between GTA and like RPGs and stuff is there's no long lasting consequences.
Yeah.
So if you're a jerk in that game, I mean, as long as you live and get away from the cops, you're fine.
That's
I
true.
mean, but RPGs, when you start making decisions, you're like, oh crap, should I have done this? Should I have done? I mean, I find myself like, I hate to admit this, but like looking up online to see if it's going to lead one path or another. Like when it comes to like a crucial decision, like, oh crap.
You're that person who puts bookmarks in your Choose Your Own Adventure books, weren't you?
No, I always won.
Oh, all right. That's a confident man right there.
I have a question though for how come you do look up to make sure you do the right things? Is it because I'm guessing it doesn't only pertain to like making sure you make the correct goal or the correct treasure or something like that. Is it something else or is it just that? I'm just curious.
Well, it depends on the game. If it's a game like Mass Effect, I want to make sure that my crew still loves me at the end of the adventure and they all live or whatever.
Yeah.
The game like Heavy Rain, you don't get the choice to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, ah!
Yeah.
Give me an example game, Joel, if you can.
And just one thing I was gonna say, because I know you've told me before, James, on like playing, especially like New Vegas, how like if you could be like if since we're not all crazy rich people in real life, it's like in New Vegas, I remember saying like you wanted to be able to walk into a place and go, if I want to buy that gun or buy that armor, I want to be able to buy it because it's a game. I bought this game. I'd love to be able to just have fun. You know what I mean? Like that is your fun. You know.
The context of that though is I didn't feel bad cheating the system in a game like that.
Yeah.
Just because why not?
Yeah.
Well, in a
exactly.
single player game, it's not really cheating. It's just you want to have fun, do whatever you want. Same thing with Payday 2, because Payday 2 is not a versus game; it's a cooperative
that's a
game.
game I would
All of
pay
us
to
have
win.
said we would pay instantly. Like, give me $1 billion, I'll give you $10 of in-game like real world money or something. I just want to buy all the guns. That's all I care about.
Your gun has rails on every possible surface with accessories all over the place. You're wearing 4 masks like stacked up. You just swap them occasionally.
I just want the ability to like handcuff everyone, like 1,000 handcuffs.
You come in with a trash bag full of zip ties. All right, let's get started.
I would say in games, I try to, well, usually if it's an RPG, I try to role play a character of some kind. But so like in Mass Effect, which is, a game a lot of people will point out as having lots of moral choices. I role played as Kara Thrace. That was my commander. Shepard was Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica.
Nice.
So I try to make all decisions based on what would Starbuck do.
That's pretty sweet.
Which is how I play a lot of RPGs, which is chaotic good, otherwise known as asshole on the side of the angels. So like I'm all about the greater good.
So art
like,
imitates life. Just kidding.
Jeremiah also follows his
not
natural
wrong.
instincts in games.
I'm not denying any of this. But yeah, the idea being that
Do you make all your characters really tall? Like, do you stretch them all
well, I
out?
want them to be good looking, so naturally I make them tall, white, dark
you
hair.
can only get so tall.
I want people to respect them.
Yeah, James, he has to wait for the mod packs to come out to extend the height limit. That's why he plays on PC.
No, that's why he got a 4K TV, because he goes this way.
But yeah, the idea behind chaotic good would be, let's give an example again, Mass Effect. You're not going to be super friendly to all the shopkeepers. You're not going to help everyone hunt down. Like, someone asks you, please help me hunt down my bunny. I lost them. You're like, piss off. I'm trying to save the universe. Like, kind of, if you want to help somebody, it's only because it's convenient or they're going to give you something, not because you just feel like you got to help everybody. But even if you do some petty theft from time to time, maybe you beat up a civilian every once in a while, you're still overall working for the good of the galaxy, like actually trying to work for the good of the galaxy. You're just not trying to be a Boy Scout about it. And that's, honestly, for me, that's just because that's the easiest in games. Like, so if I get some impulse, like in GTA, where I'm like, I have a hatchet, I want to go chop that person up in the middle of the street. You can just go do that and not feel like, oh, that's not what my character would do. Like, no, my character would.
Jeremiah, talking about the chaotic good, something just kind of clicked for me. I think that's why I enjoy the Witcher series so much, because he is definitely a chaotic good. Like, you can...
He's chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral. He prefers not to get involved, but if he does, he's on the good side.
He's an absolute, mercenary too. So you can do the good quests and all, but I always love the ones in The Witcher 2 where you do something good, like, so you can kind of feel good about the quest. And you get back to the peasant village and they're like, oh, thank you, sir, you saved us, we're gonna live, you destroyed the monster that was attacking the village. And they're like, but we can only pay you this much. And you're like, more, and you have an option like more. And they're like, but sir, our children will go hungry this winter. And I'm just like, I saved your lives.
It's funny you mentioned that, Dave. My latest character in Skyrim is Witcher based. Like, it's Geralt. Like, I even made it look like him, and it acts like him, and everything. Like, all the decisions are based on him. It's ridiculous.
Do you have the sword mod that has like the,
I have the sword
sword
mod and all the weapons mods and armor mods. It's beautiful.
Can you link me by any chance? It's been a while. I need to get that going again.
Jeremiah, you said
I don't need that. No, actually.
I don't need it, but I need it.
I don't need it now.
just in a couple seconds.
Jeremiah, you said you were more like Starbuck. I think you almost come across more like Mal, Captain Mal.
Yeah,
I guess he'd be chaotic good too. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, he has the ability to get his team together and stuff, but he'll shoot someone in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's like the idea being, you're not a good person. Like, most people would say, oh, they're a good person. But people who really know you be like, yeah,
he
I guess.
Just happen to fall into good decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
good motivation.
When presented with choices, he seems to choose the right thing more of the time. But there's also a healthy element of what would benefit me at this moment. So that's what I prefer in games, which I think most games I fall into the majority here. I think I do end up playing mostly good on the first playthrough. But it's not like sparkling, shining good. It's, you get the good ending. You earned it. Like, B-, you're in.
I want my Paragon all the way blue.
Oh, yeah, I never.
Really?
Yeah.
But I don't like games that don't let you play really bad. In Watch Dogs, I thought it was a little bit too easy to evade the police, so I thought I'm going to turn into like the worst person ever, so that the whole game, when I'm doing like this, even the stealth missions, I have to worry about if any cop sees me, I'm screwed, because I was just trying to make the game more interesting. So I went on a spree. I killed a lot of civilians, cops, civilians. I was taking choppers down in major metropolitan areas. Logged back in like the next day, and I was back to like almost totally normal. Like, they reset it way too fast. Not quite as bad as GTA, but GTA doesn't have a reputation system. So I feel like most games, they don't want to let you be completely evil probably because they're worried about what people will think. Like, that's just a psychopath simulator.
Knights of the Old Republic,
you need to play Knights of the Old Republic.
But also, the Knights of the Old Republic, they have an out, like, what's the Sith, right? I'm assuming if you go evil, you're on the dark side of the Force.
Yeah. But I mean, like, the decisions you make though in it, they're pretty evil. They
give you good reason to go bad though.
Okay.
Yeah, like you got to be a really low down, dirty dude to go really bad. Like, some of the stuff you can do, like, just straight kill off characters in evil fashions.
I really do need to play that game.
Just dive in. It's really worth it. It's really worth it. It's only, honestly, the first one will take you maybe 30 hours tops.
Oh, only 30 hours?
Are you sure?
That's not-
Joel,
Yeah,
Total
yeah.
War, Attila, and City Skylines both came out, and I'm trying to finish the first 2 Witcher games before The Witcher 3 comes out.
Well, no,
What-
down the road, you don't
I'm-
have to play right now, but
Yeah, it's going to be down the road, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We're at
Down the road.
retirement.
Dude,
When I'm unemployed, divorced.
Do you have an iPad or anything? It might be on Android as well. But
Don't play it on there.
No, if I'm going to play it, I'm going to play it for real.
Okay, it's not bad. I was actually playing on my iPhone. It's actually pretty good.
But you already enjoy it. This is his first playthrough.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would
I don't.
recommend that.
I've never
Yeah.
played a game that was originally on, a normal platform. I've never played on mobile and thought, oh, this improved it. Like, just read about all the terrible things that happened to San Andreas on the iPad version. Yeah, so that's our main topic for tonight. Anyone have anything else they want to add on to it?
I was gonna add my. I didn't actually get to say anything what I said, but
I asked you.
no. Well, I was commenting what James was talking about, but I
Okay,
never said
all
my
right.
opinions. I was.
Sorry.
The way I really enjoy playing is, especially for a game like Mass Effect, like a game like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, where the character already kind of has a character, like has a story, and all I want to do is be able to discover everything. Kind of like Zelda. Like I don't make up a character for Zelda because Zelda or Link is already a character in a game like that. So it's kind of like I'm playing a movie, But when it's something like Mass Effect where you do have a lot of choices and stuff, and you make your own character, for those games I usually don't make my own character. I just use like Shepard or the standard one, just because I feel like it works the best with the game. But with those, I generally play kind of what I would do in real life. Like if I get pissed at a character, like I usually don't go the super nice way. Like because I think like, okay, I'm here sitting in my living room having to make a hard decision. I'm kind of more like, well, if I was on this ship and it's burning, like I would make a decision pretty quick. I'd be pissed, and I'd probably just shoot that guy right there and be like, all right, let's get out of here, So I usually play that way, and then I don't like taking back decisions that I make. I like just playing through it. So I had a couple characters I really enjoyed in the game, but they all died like I think the second game, so they didn't make it to the third game, which kind of sucked because they're one of my favorite characters because they said a lot of witty and funny stuff. But I kind of enjoyed that because it made you feel bad at times in the game, and I enjoy when a game can actually get you to feel like that. So not necessarily just bad or good either way, but I just like when a game can actually get you going, oh my gosh, I do not want this character to die. Like I like when that happens. So that's usually how I play a game like that.
Cool.
Now, the game like Heavy Rain, though, like there was never any like really good feeling decisions. It was all just
It
like
was all a gray area.
is it awful or awful? Which one do I want to choose? And you just
Now that one I wanted to do good because I felt really like I really cared for the characters in that game, and basically it was a movie, but it was just like I just want to save this person, like I didn't feel ever like, oh, I want to fail at this, or I want to, like Fallout New Vegas. In that game, I actually ended up killing one of them, the rich guy. I forget what the rich white dude in it. He was kind of like the roller, like the high stakes roller guy. I think Matthew Perry, actor who played that character.
Matthew Perry was him?
Yeah, he was him. Yeah, I killed him just because he kind of pissed me off. And I got his suit.
wait, are you talking? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe you can kill him like at some point in the quest, and I just took his stuff. Yeah, and it ruined like 3 or 4 quests, but it was. Sometimes I'll do a little evil here and there, and then I'll kind of like keep going on my quests and everything. But if some character really annoys me or wants me to do something, like they'll say, "Well, you need to go over to this area, and collect 5 different things," I'm like, bam, just pick up the ID and walk over to the laboratory and open the door. I'm like, I ain't doing your fetch quest.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, ooh, a fetch quest. More time in the game. I should spread this out even more.
You're not making a moral decision. You're making a greedy decision. Yeah, fetch quest. That sounds like there'll be things involved. More things for James Stone. All right. It's now time for the news.
I have not been doing any of the time. I'm
fine.
still riding a high from the
Just
PS4 now.
sing the song. Sing the song.
Joel, are you gonna be able to sleep tonight, buddy? Are you gonna be okay?
I might be up a little bit.
Joel, what if I just add
News
you on
time.
PSN all of a sudden? You see like a little
Dude,
pop up.
if you had done that just out of the blue, I would have freaked out.
We've been talking about how to reveal to you.
that was
originally
That was a dang good reveal.
You're welcome.
It got my blood pumping, and I was just like, oh, come on, I'm so
what was that
pissed.
face?
I don't know. It was supposed to be like,
He's a little flushed.
You like got my blood pumping. You're like grunting. All right, moving on.
All right. Star Citizen Well, they said Star Citizen is a game that could only happen on the PC. We found out a good reason why this week. Jeremy Masker, the director of operations at Cloud Imperium Games, the developers, have warned that it's going to be a really big game, and he's warning people who have data caps. It will be... They're predicting the final release of the game will be significantly more compressed and optimized than it currently is. I think the initial client size will be 30 to 40 gigabytes, which is big, but that is pretty in line with a lot of newer generation games. But the initial client size might be that much, but they're thinking each patch is probably going to have hundreds of assets. Some of these assets are up to 200 megs. They're thinking there's going to be 2 to 6 gigabyte patches, which is no big deal because Ubisoft does that for all of their games. The difference here is Cloud Imperium will actually be adding new features instead of just replacing broken stuff.
You're going to need like a separate drive just for that game.
Well, we'll get to that. So they said that the final size will probably be close to 100 gigabytes for the final completed game. And someone on Reddit had a good idea. They ought to sell Cloud Imperium branded Star Citizen SSDs, like an 120 gig SSD with the game preloaded on it. Just like for people who have bandwidth caps, and you could run the game off an SSD. It would make the game, instead of being $60, the game would then be, $120. It wouldn't be cheap, but you would get a real SSD you could use for other stuff, and it would be kind of like a cool little souvenir. I mean, it's not a super practical suggestion, but that is a stinking huge game, which makes me even more excited for it and even more tempted to try Elite Dangerous while we wait. But I thought that was pretty
sounds
cool.
next gen to me.
I mean, 8K textures got to be worth something.
I know, right?
All right, Dave, you have a little bit of news about Cities.
Yeah, City Skylines broke Paradox's, that's Paradox Interactive, the publisher's record for most sales in one day. It moved over 250,000 in one day. And I had to toss this quote in after the horrible crash and burn that was SimCity 2013. I couldn't find an actual citation for this. It's so old now, but apparently at some point after that, EA did say that there's no longer a market for city building games, which is definitely not true. There's a market for good city building games. Who would have thought?
Speaking of which, City Skylines, Dave, I did buy it last night. Would you agree? It's not like even, it's like almost a clone of SimCity, but good. Like, is that how you're feeling about it? Like the interface, the overlays, everything. I'm like,
stylistically, it's
just like SimCity.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it though because my city's getting bigger.
Yep.
I haven't played it, but I've seen Dave play it quite a bit, and yeah, I was gonna say, like, man, this is literally like, it's like if SimCity was like, crap, let's scrap this, let's redo it. But the graphics look so much better though. They really do look way better than SimCity. Like, they don't have the weird fuzzy edges. Like, this one has a little bit of the aliasing issue, but overall the game just looks really a lot better. Like, textures look a lot better. The whole game runs a lot better. It's smoother. Yeah, and it just looks like all this
bigger
like,
too.
It looks like it looks like all the city action and all that kind of stuff happens much faster and
all that city action.
Yeah.
There's no like build times on buildings. I saw like it shows up, all these buildings, they pop up, which is nice.
Yeah, that's most city building games. You just kind of like zone it, and then the city just like populates it for you. But if you don't manage it and build it correctly, it will all come crumbling down. I had this crazy thing today. I gotta share this just little small story. I was pulling water out of a river to supply my city with fresh drinking water, and I didn't realize, of course, the game physically simulates water, so like the water is actually flowing, you can build dams and stuff like that, but I didn't realize when you put a pump in the water, it then actually starts removing that water from the body of water. So if you put too many pumps in one area, you actually can get rid of a water source if it's not strong enough, and the small river that I was using to supply my city wasn't a great source of water. And what happened was, I put too many pumps in one of the pond areas of the river and drained the water level too much that I very slowly slowed the river down, lowered it, and then very slowly reversed the river back towards the pond. At that point, it sucked all of the sewage downriver slowly up this sinking, drying up river back into my water system. And I had to like expand out quickly and like move to a different water source because I had run the river almost completely dry, and it took about 2 hours of gameplay for it to flow again once I removed all my water pumps. But I was like, how awesome is that? Like, it's physically simulating the water I'm pumping out of the river, and then I backflowed the sewage. Game of the year.
That's disgusting.
So does anyone want a family Steam share with me?
Yes, Debbie. Have we not set that up yet?
No.
Yeah, I'll share it with you.
Debbie's
Thank
family.
I'm not just a token or a sandwich maker.
You wanted the sandwich maker
But she's
title.
like, but I can't
You
do
asked.
both things.
I can if you want. I'm offering.
I would love
Anybody
to
want
make one.
Anybody want some guacamole?
You're like, don't demean me unless that's what it takes to hang out, in which case I guess that's okay.
You want ham or cheese or both?
Wait, Debbie, I don't want to sound mean, but since your husband can't eat gluten, if I was like, make a sandwich, would you do you even have stuff to make a sandwich? Ignoring the whole female aspect of it, do you guys even have sandwich stuff? You do?
Well, instead of bread, we use we do
No, not
lettuce.
instead of. I'm asking, could you make a sandwich? Not could you make some weird. I grew up in a vegan household. Don't try to trick me.
No.
I had tofurkey for Christmas once.
Sandwiches do not happen here. No sandwiches.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to
Just
know.
straight up meat and veg. That's pretty much it.
And John's weird little egg pancake things.
Yeah.
Well, they're so good.
Well, okay,
Oh
so-
my gosh.
Funny story or not, just a story. Hope bought some waffle mix because she went to some knitting party where they were making waffles. I don't know.
It's going to be
Women,
a
am
quiet
I right?
party. They're all just like... and they're like, it's 30 minutes later. See, you guys, it's been great.
It's called Netflixing. You watch Netflix while you knit.
Oh, they call it stitching, bitch.
That's it.
But
That's really good.
Yeah, the Stitch and Bitch parties. You've never heard of them?
anyway, so she brought it home. I was like, ooh, I want to make a pancake. I'm jonesing just for a pancake. And then I looked on the back and I was like, oh, well, you got to put, 1 cup of mix, 2 things of water, and an egg, and that makes 14 pancakes. I was like, well, I don't want 14 pancakes. I was like, but I can't put in part of an egg. So I put in a whole egg and just half of everything they said. And their version of pancakes is 3 inches across, so that doesn't count. So I put in 1 egg, and it tasted very eggy. It was not. They were not good. I regret that a lot.
We all know
I
that
told you it wasn't
John's
a good story.
John's solution would have been oh man, 14 pancakes. Better make 2 servings so I can have a midnight snack.
Yeah. It's funny because when he makes them, he'll eat them as he makes them. So he'll only end up with a small pile. I'm like, John, you had a lot more than that. Where'd they go? He's like, in my mouth.
Sounds like John.
I envy John's metabolism so much. Every time I'm there, he's just complaining I wish I could just gain more weight. I'm like, really? Do you?
No, he can gain weight.
Yeah, by eating 10 tons of food.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, he just eats the right kind of food. That's all.
I eat the right kind of food too, Debbie. I just eat a lot of it. I really like the right type of food.
You are taller than everyone, so I understand.
Just to remind everybody, during my
And you
class.
think I would really like the tall person advantages of being my younger brother is 50 pounds lighter than me, an inch taller than me, and he really eats like a horse. And he's old enough.
Jeremiah,
He's not just.
what do you do
growing.
all day? I know you go to the gym, but most of your day is at a desk, sitting.
During the winter it is, but during the active times of the year. But still, even if you're pretty active all day long, you're not burning more than an extra 400 or 500 calories a day, most likely.
And there's that sweet beer.
There is, that's 4 beers a week, maybe.
The carbs.
It's not that much.
It's 30
Is Debbie judging how many beers you drink?
I love judging.
Ask Debbie how many wine bottles she guzzles a night.
I don't.
Those are carb free.
Wine has sugar in it.
That's not
that's
carbs,
right,
that's
it does.
sugar.
That's
Debbie.
Debbie, really?
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, do you really not know the difference?
It doesn't count. The alcohol cancels it out.
Well, if you drink a dry red wine, that's very low in sugar.
Okay, but it still has lots.
No, not the dry reds. You barely taste any sugar. It's not there.
No, just because you can't taste it doesn't mean. All right, I'm looking this up. Dry red wine.
Just because it's not Mountain Dew level.
She's like, it's not like Mountain Dew, except she drinks 4 bottles, so it probably equals the amount of a Mountain Dew.
Okay,
with liver poisoning.
She's
And
not
she
wrong.
puts a Kool-Aid pack in it.
One glass probably has 0 to 4 grams of carbs, so that's actually not terrible.
How often do you drink that?
That's one glass.
How often
3
do you
to
drink
6
that?
times a week.
Okay, that's not that bad. See, it's the same thing as me having a beer a couple nights a week. It's really not that big of a deal.
But you
No,
don't
my
have.
problem.
You have more than one a week.
Me? Mm-hmm. I said a beer a couple times a week.
Oh, a couple of us.
Yeah. So, but my thing is like, if I want to eat fruit, I'll have like 4 bananas and 6 apples in a day, and like, well, that's 1,000. Exactly. I'm eating good stuff. Or I'll
Just
eat a
shoving
salad.
bananas down his throat.
I'll eat a
Jeez.
quarter.
Joel, tell the story. Tell the story.
See how it fits perfectly in your mouth.
The banana story?
Yeah, the text message you sent earlier this week. And what happened?
I'll save for that one later, but
Oh, okay.
I want to tell the other story. But we can keep going.
Okay. It's now time for the Potato Patch, a part of the podcast where we talk about everything going on in the world of peasantry and console gaming. Which I guess we all have consoles now.
We're all
officially.
peasants, yay.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say this, Joel. Do you realize what you've done? Yes.
I realized.
No, Joel. We're gonna play Bloodborne. We're gonna play Last of Us. But do you know how many times over the next year you're gonna hear the phrase come out of my mouth? As a console owner, some PC superiority statement. Get ready.
How happy was Jesse to be able to have just a game like Legos and play?
Jesse plays games on her iPad, doesn't count.
She's loving it. Yeah. I did laugh, Joel. The day after I ordered it, I was like, I was getting a glass of water in the kitchen. She's like, "So when does the potato station get here?" I was just like pouring my glass of water. I was like, "Wait, what did you call it?" I was like, I'm so proud. She didn't even think about it.
The potato station.
Our first bit of news: Battlefield Hardline will run at 720p on the Xbox One and 900p on the PS4. That's all I have to say about that.
I put that in there. I actually wanted to dig on that actually a little bit.
Oh, we definitely should. I want to do a potato masher comparison now.
Yeah.
I want to put a 720p scaled thing on the screen next to 4K or whatever we can get it to run at, just to rip into them.
I played
that's
Battlefield
sad.
4 on the Xbox One at 720p and with no anti-aliasing either, and it was beyond awful. It's like you were playing a game in like a dev mode or something with all the popping and flickering and aliasing. It just looked awful.
Yeah, modern TVs are sharp enough and nice enough that 720p really does kind of suck. You can get away with 720p for good video, like movies and stuff. A good high quality 720p is not bad, but for games, it's not really doing it anymore. If the game is really good, of course, if the gameplay's awesome, you can put up with anything. But modern gaming has efficiently surpassed that, so it's really disappointing when games are still relying on that. 900p isn't terrible, but there is a softness that's introduced at 900p because even though they upscale and sharpen it, it's just like it's not a direct scale. It's kind of weird.
Because isn't that what Watch Dogs was at on
Probably.
PS4? I believe it was 900p. Yeah, like it wasn't too bad for most of the game. Like I mean, I just got into it. It was fine. More of it's just like it's really sad for just especially the Xbox One. Like. It's 720p, guys.
Why own an Xbox One? So you can have a DVR, so you can play the Master Chief Collection because that works so well. Like,
it's like really like, dude, the specs in that are way above the 360. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the 360 is still playing about 720p on certain things. You know what I mean? I know it could be a little bit lower, but still, that's a huge gap. I think of graphics processing power compared to those older machines.
Battlefield 4 was 720p.
What is the problem with it? You know, like
on Xbox 360.
I think we'd say like the PS4 has done a lot better. I think because they did add a little bit more tech into the machine. You know.
Yeah,
and
they made the right choice.
Yeah, they really made the right choice. I think next year we're going to see a lot better games as well, just because they're going to have a lot more development time on the game, you know, on the system, and they're getting used to it, right? But it is kind of embarrassing, and I feel sad for them because it's like, man, like what the heck? Like, they must be like, dang it, we put not enough specs into the Xbox One. Like,
No.
we're screwed. Yeah.
I don't think they are because it's still one of the best-selling consoles or fastest-selling consoles of all time. I mean, the PS4 and the Xbox One are selling like gangbusters. The PS4 is just selling a lot better.
Yeah, but the Xbox One wasn't selling that well until they started going crazy with discounts.
It's true, but they've started to hit their stride now. I think they know they're going to be fine.
Yeah, by being a $350 console.
Yeah, I'll probably buy one when it hits
$200
$200 and I can get Forza 6 bundled with it. I'll probably.
The only thing I'm really excited, I mean, except for some of the exclusives for Xbox One, is the Windows 10 stream. I think that will be a cool feature.
It's a gimmick though, because why does it make sense to do all the graphics rendering on the Xbox One and stream to a PC? Like that's the exact backwards of what that should be.
I think the coolest part is that, if you could just dual use your PC screen for something, you know what I mean? Like I can't plug my PS4 into my Dell 1440p monitor; it just won't work.
What?
Are you sure?
Yeah, it won't work.
Why not?
I don't even know how to explain it. It was kind of confusing the way I read it online, but it's
because my PS4 works on my Dell monitor, my Asus monitor. It has an HDMI out. If it takes HDMI, it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of them are not working, but I don't know.
No, I think you're doing something wrong. No offense.
You just plug it in. What Dell monitor is this? Just 1080p then?
Yeah, it'll just display 1080p into the monitor, which should be able to support it. The only thing I could think of that might have an issue is if that monitor is old enough that it doesn't support HDCP.
That's a new monitor.
It might have come out like 4 years ago, though. I mean, it may not be a brand new model of monitor. You might need to disable HDCP on your PS4. Like when I capture footage on the PS4 using the Elgato, I have to disable HDCP. Otherwise, it's just a DRM thing. It might just be that. It might just be you got DRM turned on the PlayStation 4, and that monitor Dell designed a couple years before the current HDCP standards, which are on the PS4. Okay. If it's anything, it's that. But no, if it's got an HDMI input, it should work. But no, I see what you're saying. You could leave your Xbox in the living room and just stream it into a second stream on your computer. Yeah, I mean, I guess that. I'm sure
like,
some
hey,
people...
grab a controller, jump on it real quick, play.
Some people are going to use it. It just doesn't seem like that necessary of a feature, and a little more of a gimmick just to say they can.
Honestly,
of which,
I would have been blown away if they said, hey, we're going to allow people playing Xbox One games on their PC. Like, if they said, if you have this minimum specs, it will run it. You know what I mean? See, even if it ran it at the same specs as Xbox One, but just being able to pop in a disc and play it, that would have been sick.
It would have been. But speaking of features that are more of gimmicks, the PS4 Update 2.5 has cool things like being able to suspend and resume games. It's pretty much just a really fast way of saving and quitting a game. Think of it that way. But it does come with Remote Play and Shareplay will now support 60 FPS, which I think is a pretty useless feature. It's more of a gimmick to say they have it, but just like the Steam family sharing where it's at 60 FPS, you need good internet, and you need a really good router to be able to support that. Like either everything has to be hardwired and you have a good router, or it has to be wireless and an excellent router to even dream of coming close to 60 FPS. I think a tiny percentage of the people who use SharePlay and Remote Play are going to be able to do this, and certainly not over the internet. You'd have to have crazy awesome internet to do that.
But it's still a cool thing. There's no reason to not do it.
Yeah, again, I think it's one of those things. It looks good on a spec sheet. It's good that they can say, hey, we've enabled it. Yeah, it looks good for them, but I think practically, like, people are going to argue about, oh yeah, well, the PS4 can stream 60 FPS, and none of the people arguing about it will ever do that. Like, it's just such a specific set of things, of requirements will have to be met, that I don't think it's going to be worth it. But, it's cool that they did it. And then,
well, I mean, that's what Steam machines do, though.
Oh, I think it's a dumb feature for them too, because I think most people won't be able to stream much past 30 unless they're streaming on a very, very good home system.
I mean, I could do it at a home system. Like, I could do 60 FPS downstairs.
It's probably more future-proofing than anything else.
Yeah,
over the next few years, you're going to want to have that in there.
Yeah, it's more of right now it's just a feature on a list. Once our internet infrastructure
well, the Vita's not going to be around much longer anyways.
No, that's true. No, you can remote play onto Android phones with a little bit of work. Because they supported it on the PlayStation Android phone that came out a couple years ago, some Sony Xperia. People have figured out how to be able to stream just PS4 Remote Play straight to an Android phone using like a Bluetooth controller hooked up, which is pretty cool. But our last bit of Potato Patch news, Uncharted 4 has been moved to spring of 2016. Spring is now becoming the new holiday season for games because everything's getting delayed. Project Cars was delayed once again. But yeah, Uncharted 4.
I just put that in there, just what's up frowny face. That's all.
Yeah,
I think they just want to have more time to make sure it's good.
Like with all games,
they did mention the one piece in the article they mentioned is that they said we want to make sure to send Drake out on his finest last mission. So it is going to be his last mission. So, or at least for I guess Drake. I doubt they'll probably close that franchise out completely, you know.
Oh, of course they won't.
But I was like, I mean, I hope it does. I mean, like Bloodborne was supposed to come out in February 6th. So, hey, if they make it an awesome game, I'm fine to wait.
If it's a good game, like we always say, a delayed game can be eventually good. A hastily rushed out game is bad forever. I'm fine with them delaying it. It is disappointing because it's really starting to heat up this year. It's not disappointing for Uncharted. I'm not picking on them, but tons of games are starting to get delayed again. It's happening all over again this year. I feel like developers really just need to slow the heck down and just pace yourselves out a little bit. Like, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll be here. But that leads us... Man, you're killing all my segues tonight, Joel.
I'm sorry.
I've just been not moving so fast. That leads us into the Singularity Shame segment, a part of the podcast where we highlight some douche canoes who just need a gentle drubbing. Who added these comments in?
I did.
I'm guessing these are all comments on the Potato Masher video.
Yeah, it was on the Potato Masher Mortar video. I just made me laugh because I was just like, let's see how many of these there are. But the middle one made me laugh the hardest, but I could read them off real quick.
Okay.
It's basically people just being, a bunch of douchebags going, hey, well, you can't play Bloodborne on the the Potato Masher, which is just so dumb because it's kind of like, well, you can't play, a Game Boy game on your PS4.
Well, that's anytime someone's like, anyone says, oh, yeah, can I play this exclusive game on the Potato Masher? I'm like, no. Can you, do everything else a PC can do on your PlayStation 4? No. That's a stupid comparison.
Yeah, people are not getting it. But I laugh because... Anyways, here's one. I was like, I can't wait to play Bloodborne in 1886 and Halo 5 and Forza 5 on my Master SLI GTX 980 Intel i7 PC!
9 exclamation marks.
And the next one, he spells Bloodborne wrong. It says, can I play Bloudborne? Or the Order 1886 on it. No? So F you.
Someone should tell him that he can swear on the internet.
Man.
That's actually allowed. You can swear on the internet. He's allowed.
Yeah. It's just funny because it's kind of. I just love how he's like, "Can I play it?" It's like, oh, I can't. Well, F you then. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll get a PS4 then. It's like, no, F you.
How dare you show me something that doesn't play the thing I want?
Last guy was just like, and how the F is this supposed to play Bloodborne anyways?
There have been a lot of those people, and fortunately, I don't even engage them. Tons of people hop in on both sides of the fence, chime in and like, dude, why are you so stupid? Please go away. Then someone commented on the video saying it looks terrible at 360p. Yeah,
that's my comment of the week. I got that earlier. It's just like, this looks terrible. This YouTube video looks terrible at 360p. It was a YouTube of an Empire episode, which of course it's an RTS game. I'm like, gee, you think? It's just come on.
That game is all about intricate small details on the screen. So yeah, when you watch it at 1/10 the original quality and 1/10 the resolution, yeah, it may not look that great.
At half a megabit.
Was that Shane watching on his 3GS?
Does it support videos? I think Debbie's just left us. She's just talking to her dog right now.
I'm sorry, I actually was talking to my dog.
No, that's why I said it. I could hear a collar rattling around or something.
I had it on mute. How did you hear that?
Because you did not have it on mute.
I did.
Did you mute your recording?
No, I muted my mic.
Yeah, you didn't though. That's the thing.
Whoops.
That's all right. We'll just ride it out now. No sense.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Tell Johnny's doing a good job with the dishes.
Johnny Ulkers, who wrote in, you had a piece of mail. He wrote into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, just like you can, to be a part of the show. And he is looking to get into PC gaming. He wants to build a gaming PC. He has no idea where to start, and he sent us his budget. But we will help you, Johnny, but you need to let us know, what do you want to play and what do you need? Do you need a monitor, keyboard, mouse, Windows? Do you need all of that, or do you have other stuff to go along with it? And just send that in to us, let us know, and we will answer it on the show next week. Holy crap, Debbie, mute your mic, or I'm going to kick you out of the podcast.
I tried. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Debbie, we can hear you the whole time.
Why are you doing dishes right beside your computer?
Okay.
It's John. Debbie, do it in Skype. Just hover over the little mic icon.
She muted it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. There it goes.
Okay,
Your
Debbie,
sandwich is quieter.
come back whenever you want. It's now time for
I can't have Blue have to do it on like Stone.
Skype, I guess.
You're like,
It's time for 90 Seconds with Joel, a part of the podcast where we talk about Joel's sexual stamina. Take it away.
3 times.
One quick mention on the Suspend and Resume on the PS4. You kind of glossed over that. I don't think that's a minor little thing. That's not just quick saving and jumping back into a game. That's like on every phone nowadays. It's something taken for granted. It's not just saving. It's you turning your computer pretty much off to like sleep mode, then jumping back into the game immediately. You know what I mean? So hopefully it is pretty quick. But that's gonna
You don't have to go through all the boot sequences.
Yeah, you don't have to go through any of that. Yeah, it's going
sleep
to like
mode. It's sleep mode.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be cool. I think that's not just like a simple quick save, jump out. That's a big deal, I think. So.
Okay.
All right. So my story is about swimming lately. So if anyone wants to know about the good old penis pill updates. No, I've been trying to get, I guess, blood flowing better. Apparently just swimming is helpful. So on
he watches a lot of Bloodborne trailers.
I think you might have cured him tonight, Dave.
Oh, the blood was definitely flowing.
He had a blood bone, I think.
I think he was in a refractory period by like 3/4 of the way through the video.
Joel, did you have a blood bone tonight?
Maybe. So anyways, I was going swimming early in the mornings, and where I go swim, there's no one swimming. It's just me. This giant room, and there's a lady in there, and one of the lifeguards, and I walk in, and she's just doing a little bit of scrubbing and everything, and she turns around, no joke, and I was just like, hi, and she just goes, like lets an audible groan, and I'm just like, oh, are you guys closed right now? And she just goes, I'm like, okay, the lady back there just told me it was open, so all right, whatever. So I see she walks over, grabs this. She was like a bathing suit, just cleaning. She grabs this like red like shirt on that's supposed to be like official, like, you know, I am now in lifeguard mode. And so as soon as there's someone swimming, she has to stand there and just do nothing but just sit and watch. Like no matter if there's one person or or a ton of people, that's so. I guess she was pissed because she was doing her job and like she was probably keeping her busy, and now she's gonna have to sit there and watch me swim. So she's right on the lane where I'm at. I was thinking about swimming to the opposite part of the lane. I was like, she was kind of a douche. I'm gonna swim really close, and so as I'm swimming by, I'm like go like this, and I'm just like looking at her, right? And I'm like, okay, it's like lap 1, lap 2. I just like keep kind of looking at her, and then I was just like, I'm swimming this way. I'm like actually saying that as I'm past her. I'm like, I'm swimming this way. Look, I'm swimming on my back. And it's really echoey in that room. So it's just like, I'm swimming in this way. And I was just like, look, I'm going underwater.
Water.
I was literally saying everything I was doing. And she was just like, and then I started pointing out things that are really obvious. I was like, are those barrels over there? Is that like for swimming or something? Like, do you put it in the water? And she's just like, I'm like, swimming this way.
She sounds like Mac's mom.
Like, yeah. I was just laughing because like I was really nice at the start, and then she literally hasn't talked to me once. And then I've gone back the second day. I came back in, she like looked over, she's like, oh, like, and she knew it was me. And I was like, oh yeah. I get in the pool, I'm like, I'm swimming again today.
How many days have you been swimming?
I've just done twice. So
how do you feel? Ignoring all that, how are you enjoying the health benefits of swimming?
It's actually been great. So I think honestly, it apparently has a little bit to do with like varicose veins type issue. So anyway,
I meant health in general. I wasn't talking about your ball sack specifically. Just throwing that out.
Joel's just like, how kind of you to ask.
Okay, so anyways, yeah.
It's for private men discussion.
Going again tomorrow, but yeah, no, it's
on Twitch.
Just feeling a lot less sore. And I think it has a lot to do with just sitting tons more for hours, working on Norman stuff. And then I'm like, hey, I'm finished with Norman and working. I want to relax and play a game. More sitting. So I think it's just been combined, plus that with stress as well. So we'll see. But
Joel, you should come
I've really
with
enjoyed
me
it. It's been an awesome
during
workout.
lunch and do lunges on the track.
Yeah, I could do that, or I could go swim and I could be like, I'm swimming this way.
You know, if you drown, you're probably not going to be saved by the way.
She's just like,
she's gonna be like, yes.
She's just like waves.
Joel, you reach out for help, and she'll just like take the top of your head and just push it under slowly. she's like, you're going this way. Blah 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 blah.
You're swimming underwater.
You can't breathe anymore.
All the bubbles.
You're losing circulation.
Okay, that's it. That's all I have.
All right, I don't really know where to go from there.
Just laugh.
Yeah, we're going to keep the podcast kind of short this week because of what?
Nothing.
What? Am I forgetting something?
No, it's just you said short, but it's not been short. It's been the same thing. Go ahead.
No, we're about to end it at just over an hour. We almost never end at just over an hour.
An hour and 20.
No, we didn't start right at 11, Debbie. You know that. We never start right on time. We started
An hour and 15.
Oh my gosh, Debbie, we're done now.
Soon to be an hour and 16.
You have buttons. I must push them.
Oh, you haven't even found my buttons, woman.
Oh dear.
This kid can't reach that high.
Challenge accepted.
That's the trick, is you just act exasperated, and so people think, ooh, I gotta back off. He's kind of irritated, and then they never actually irritate you. Same thing with being a liar. You want to be a good liar? Be a really crappy liar.
What?
Everyone knows it. If you're a really crappy liar, everyone will think you're a really crappy liar, so when you really need to tell one, no one will suspect a thing. Just keep a straight face.
Or you could just be really good at it.
Which you guys were
To
very
begin
good
with. Just be good at lying.
at. You guys
You don't have to
got
craft
me
a
good.
master plan.
Joel, we just have so much experience with lying to you.
It's true.
Joel, this trailer is amazing.
Dude, we really believe in your film.
That's
I'm really excited to help you out on Norman.
I'm really happy to help you rewrite it.
We really did that, though. We really did help you. I
Yeah.
mean, so that counts. Oh, Ashton wants to know
We're
how the movie's
really
doing.
committed to the lie.
Can we get a quick Norman update before we wrap the podcast up? That is the last
yeah.
thing we were talking about tonight. What's up with Norman?
Let's just say that a new trailer is coming and it's gonna kick ass.
Custom music by your composer,
New music
right?
that's just it's awesome.
Yeah,
So-
I've seen it. It's amazing.
Hoping
wanna
by the
talk
end of this, hoping by the end of this month, if
Do you want to talk about last weekend?
Oh, just real quick. Well, last weekend we recorded new Annie lines. James and I had finished updating a lot of the Annie lines.
People don't know who that is.
Yeah, who's Annie?
Annie is one of the characters in the movie.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence device. So, did absolutely phenomenal job. It was amazing having James in town helping with it, and we just had a lot of fun kind of making the character say one thing like very human and then instantly cut into just really robotic and saying a lot of data and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then Dave did some recording.
I got to
for
yell
his-
at a wall
his
and tell a
character.
wall to drop the gun over and over again. I'm like screaming at a wall, put the gun down, like, over
Yeah.
the corner.
And then at the end we recorded some grunts. And James went first, and then I go, and I'm like, "Gah!" And then James punches me in the stomach. And I'm
I
like,
didn't punch you. It was a flat
It
slap.
was a love
It was a
tap.
tummy love
A
tap.
flat slap.
Yeah, I tried not to let it make it hurt.
It was a tummy
I just want to
bitch
knock some
slap.
wind out of you.
But no, everyone did a really good job, and we got a huge amount done. So we're rolling right along. So it's gonna be awesome. But hopefully expect kind of a featurette on the composer guy sometime soon, followed with some news on the trailer. So it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited.
All right, awesome. Guys, that's the show this week. Thank you for all coming out. You can write in casualshenanigans at gmail.com. You can tweet at casualshenaniga with your questions. If you want to write in with comments about things, you want to help with a computer build, whatever else, we're here for that. And we like seeing you guys' reviews of the podcast on iTunes too. You can also find Dave and I on YouTube, JERMgaming, Evil Viking 13, and corresponding Twitters, although Dave's Twitter is Evil Viking just by itself. That is really all the ways you can get in touch with us. You can support us on Patreon. We thank you everyone who does that. It keeps the mics on, keeps the lights running. That's not...
Well, mics and lights, that basically covers Patreon. So
and the hosting for the podcast and the Teamspeak server. Make sure if you are interested in Minecraft to swing by the Teamspeak server, which is in the always in the description of all of the podcast videos. We have a link to the Teamspeak, and Debbie or someone else playing Minecraft will give you the Minecraft address. You can hop in and play with us. So thank you all for coming out. We will see you next week, and with that, stay casual.